thanks a lot, everybody, for joining in today. And as you know, the webinar today is to talk about our programs with Liverpool John Moores University. And what I will try and do over the next first 15-20 minutes of this webinar is to give you a sense and the background of how these programs are structured, the relevance of these programs. But for the rest of the 40 minutes, I will open it up to questions. Please feel free to post it in the Q&A section. Raise your hand, because whether it's going to be 20 minutes or 40 minutes or 60 minutes of questions depends totally on anything that you have in mind, and we can keep it very interactive. So with that, thanks a lot for joining in today, everybody. My name is Falgun Kumpali, and I'm one of the co-founders of upGrad. Started this back in 2015. Before that, I was also in education for about 4 years as a principal with the Parthenon Group. Before that, I was a data scientist with a company called Opera Solutions in New York. And then prior to that, I did my bachelor's from IIT Delhi. And even before that, I spent a bulk of my childhood in a city called Hyderabad. So that's briefly about myself. And talking about Liverpool John Moores, I think it's one of those partnerships that we are extremely proud of. Liverpool John Moores is a university that was established in 1823. So they've been operational for more than 180 years, one of those truly legacy public universities in the UK, based out of the vibrant city of Liverpool. And they have one of the strongest research focus labs that I have seen. And their FTE, which is the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, or Technology and Engineering, is ranked amongst the top schools in the UK. As per the latest rankings, I think their FET is ranked in the top 20 schools in the UK, and they're one of the most reputed disciplines when it comes to engineering, not only in the UK, but globally. They have more than $2 billion of research grants. They drive the Liverpool City Innovation Council. They have some amazing faculty who are part of these programs. And as I said, we're really happy to offer these programs in collaboration with a university like that. Coming to our portfolio with Liverpool John Moores, as you might be aware, we run a series of master's programs with them, starting from Masters in Data Science, Masters in Machine Learning and AI, Masters in Computer Science, and then obviously an MBA program. All of these are in collaboration with Liverpool John Moores, either their Faculty of Engineering and Technology or their business school. And I think one of the key things for you to note, there are 2 or 3 points that I will highlight about Liverpool John Moores, then talk a little bit about the upGrad experience. And then, as I said, I'll open it up for questions. So first, talking about the programs themselves. As I said, these are all master's programs, and it is the same degree that students get on campus. So that's one of the first key things that you need to remember, that let's say you're doing the Masters in Data Science program online with Liverpool John Moores and upGrad. At the end of it, if you successfully complete the program, the degree that you get is the exact same degree that students get on campus. So the rigor, the selection process, the learning outcomes, the career outcomes are all expected to be the same. The second advantage of the program, obviously, is that while it is the same degree as on campus, it costs 1/5 of what the on-campus cost is. And I'm not even talking about the living costs, the opportunity cost of not working for 12 to 24 months. Just the academic cost is 1/5 of what it would cost on campus. And the final draw for the program is that we've brought in 2 great universities. While Liverpool John Moores is ultimately giving the masters, we have followed a structure where a university delivers a certain part of the credits, which could be IIIT Bangalore or IMT Ghaziabad. And then post that, Liverpool John Moores delivers the second half of the program, and then you get a master's from Liverpool John Moores University. So to explain the structure of the program, any UK master's is typically 180 credits, right, to understand the credit structure. And the way these programs are designed is that if you do a master's in data science, for the first 11 months of the program, you will be doing a IIIT Bangalore program, which is one of the top technology schools in India. It's consistently rated in the top 10 tech schools in India. And obviously Liverpool John Moores and them work in collaboration to design this. And you will get, for completing that program, a PG program in data science credential. But for completing that program, you also get recognition for 110 credits for prior learning. So of the 180 credits in a master program, this particular PG program in data science from IIIT Bangalore gives you about 110 credits. Post that, you spend about 8 months to complete the rest of the program, where you do research methodologies module, where we talk about concepts like how do you think about research, various sources, citations, plagiarism, etc., so that it guides the way you can then structure the rest of the 60 credits, which is basically an independent dissertation project. So students after the research methodologies, which is 10 credits, spend about 6 months to complete this independent dissertation project, which they choose based on their interest, and then work with a thesis supervisor and a postdoc fellow from Liverpool John Moores who are guiding them on that research project. So that research project is for another 60 credits. And eventually this 110 credits of prior recognition from IIIT Bangalore, 10 credits for research methodologies, and the 60 credits for the dissertation project add up to getting the master's. So apart from just getting the master's from Liverpool John Moores, you also get the PG program credential from IIIT Bangalore. So that's the structure. And as I said, the advantages are that it's the same rigor, the same degree that you get on campus. It's a fraction of the cost. And there's also another world-class university involved. And you get an additional credential of PGP over and above the master's in data science or master's in computer science or MBA from Liverpool John Moores. So that's about the program structure. Now, talking about the independent dissertation project, which is the very important part. I think while for the first 12 months of the program, students spend a lot of time understanding the various concepts and modules. The last 6 months of the dissertation project is truly innovative, because what happens there is that students bring projects that they're really passionate about. It could either be from their own work, it can be from some of the research that they have done, and spend a solid 6 months and close to 200 hours in solving that particular problem statement. The beauty of this is that it's open-ended. It's a very real life experience where nobody is giving you or spoon feeding you with, okay, this is the problem statement, this is the data set, this is what you need to do now, please go ahead and do your assignment. While those exist as part of the core program, the dissertation project itself is very open-ended, is research bent. And that's where I think it's more real life experience where you can solve a problem that you're passionate about. And obviously you will have guidance from the thesis supervisors at upGrad, from the faculty and the postdoc fellows at Liverpool John Moores. But we have seen a lot of students enjoy that really very much because of the independent nature of the work, because of the intellectual challenge it involves, and eventually the outcome of 20,000 words dissertation document. Most students end up creating some form of software, then presenting it to the faculty board at Liverpool. And I think just that intellectual challenge, as I said, is very, very exciting for students. We have also seen multiple students based on their work publish papers. We have seen multiple students go ahead and do PhDs after this, including online PhDs with us, but also on-campus PhDs where Liverpool John Moores is inviting them to do a PhD. So we are happy to share some of this research work that students have done, but it's a very exciting part of the program where while you learn all the strong components of the curriculum that are involved in data science or computer science, at the end of it, you get to apply it on a real life problem of your choice that you bring to the table and work with your thesis supervisor and postdoc fellow to successfully solve. So that's the broad structure of the program. As I said, I'm not going into detail because I know that each one of these programs is different. So as I said, we have a master's in data science, a master's in machine learning and AI, a master's in computer science, and an MBA program as well. So while the broad structure of 110 credits plus 70 credits is the same, obviously the curriculum for each one of these are different. And I'm happy to go into the curriculum of any of these programs in more detail. If you have it, please ask me the question about that program in the Q&A and we'll be happy to pick that up. The last thing before I open it up for Q&A, as I said, and I want to leave about 30 to 40 minutes for that, is talk about the kind of support that you get from upGrad while you're doing these programs. While IIIT Bangalore and the Liverpool John Moores faculty are involved hands-on in creation of the program, in delivering live lectures, and giving you feedback on your thesis project, there is multiple things that upGrad brings to the table, where one of the things that we keep saying is that these amazing faculty from these universities are great theater artists, but we need to make them phenomenal movie artists. And the way you do that is take what they teach in the classroom and bring that online with the same amount of interactivity, with the same amount of engagement, so that students don't feel bored or disconnected. One of the biggest problems with online education is that most students feel like it's an anonymous experience. It's just you and the computer, and after a point, you get demotivated, bored, and you drop off. That's why completion rates online are really poor. But for us, even for these master's programs in the past. So far, we have about 5,000 plus students who have completed these programs, and we see a completion rate of 85 to 90%. So if 100 people join the program, 85 to 90% of the people complete the program. That's because of the kind of engagement that we've been able to build. So just briefly talking about what upGrad does to bring that kind of engagement to the table, there are three key aspects to it. The first is content and how we work with the faculty to create very engaging digital content. First, none of our videos are more than 5 to 7 minutes long because we know what kind of attention spans are in play here. And even when we have 5 to 7 minutes, it's not always the faculty's face. There are a lot of animations, graphics, and engagement that we bring into picture so that it's a very active learning experience and not a passive consumption of just recorded videos. There's a lot of work we put into that to make sure that our content is extremely engaging. The next part is the learning management system itself, where this experience is hosted. So we have not built our learning management system on Canvas or Blackboard. It's a proprietary LMS that we have built to, again, give us the flexibility to continuously innovate on the pedagogy that we use to ensure that the student engagement is maximized. So once you see the platform, you will see the kind of simulations, the kind of case studies and capstone projects that are built in, and the kind of engagement you have, not only peer-to-peer, but peer to faculty, peer to teaching assistant, so that any query that you have gets resolved immediately. And there's always active involvement on the platform as compared to just passive consumption. And the last part is the career support services, or in general support services that we offer. And I would classify that support services into three parts. And this, according to me, is the most important. One is academic support services. The second is non-academic support services. And the third is career support services. So academic support is when you have a query, when you're doing this program online. Obviously, it's a master's level program. So when you have a query, how does that get resolved, right? So you're not on your own. One, you have very, very strong peer community, and there's a peer-to-peer discussion forum where you can post questions, and there is immediate response from multiple peers. Beyond that, teaching assistants are constantly available, not only on the discussion forum, but we have every week TA sessions where you can join these TA sessions to get your doubts cleared. The last part is obviously there is faculty involvement and industry experts involvement, where there are live lectures with them and you can get any of your doubts resolved with them. So there are multiple escalation layers, but we make sure that whatever academic queries you have get resolved in a very smooth and effective manner. So that's the first key component of academic support. The second component is non-academic support, where it's a really interesting concept that we've built at upGrad, which is for every student that joins an upGrad program, we have a dedicated student mentor. So what the student mentor does is it's like a relationship manager for at a bank, but at a really high net worth individual level, right? So this relationship manager is constantly tracking your activity. And obviously, if you reach out to them for some request, they're going to solve it reactively. But they're also proactively monitoring all of your activity in terms of when you log in, when you log out, how much you're studying, what times of the day you like to study, are you lagging behind on deadlines? And based on that, we have interventions defined, which can be send you an email, call you, motivate you, give you additional academic support. So over a course of 18 months, we collect about 100,000 data points from the learner. And based on those data points and based on the mentor interaction, there are various interventions that we define to ensure that we can handhold students and push them to successful completion of the program. And that's really important. That's what drives the 85 to 90% completion. And the last part is obviously the career support services that I talked about, where the academic rigor of the program makes sure that you are very confident of all the academic concepts and the learning objectives. But from a career development standpoint, what we do is we make sure, we have seen various cases where students get the best grades, but are not able to crack interviews because they're not able to do the interview properly. So we have a lot of career content on simple stuff like how do you prepare your CV? What are the top 10 asked questions in a data science interview? What are the top 10 asked questions in data science in healthcare or in pharma or in retail? So having all of that content which you can go through, again, gives you the edge. But beyond just this content, we also have live coaching and mentorship, where you will be able to choose a mentor or a coach who you can work with to say that, okay, currently I am a software developer in Tata Consulting Services, and I want to be a data scientist at Amazon or Google. So how do I chart that course, and how do I achieve that in 3 years? So these mentors are helping you with, okay, this is where you are, this is the skills you need to build, this is how you need to prepare to achieve your goal in a certain time frame. So that mentorship, and associated with that is just-in-time coaching that you can do with them for your any interview opportunities that you have, will help you again optimize your career opportunities. And the last part is just the career opportunities themselves. While most students go out and apply for jobs on their own, we also have a career portal where we have all the opportunities that we have sourced from our network, from portals like LinkedIn, Indeed, etc., that you have access to, that you can apply. And here, given all the information we have about you, we are very smart about what are the opportunities that are most relevant for you. We might have 20,000 listed, but all of them are not relevant to you based on your profile, based on your strengths and weaknesses. We recommend that, look, these are the 200, 300 most suited opportunities for you, which we recommend you explore. So the idea is that while the program covers the academic rigor, these career components of giving you this content for preparing great CVs, for preparing for interviews, associated with that is the mentorship and coaching, and then finally opening up to these opportunities, will help you really achieve the kind of career goals that you have during the program and also post the program. So on that, Deloitte recently conducted an external audit, which says that 5 out of 6 upgrad learners have reported getting a tangible career outcome post completion of the program. While there is that 1% still left, which we're pushing for, I think that's a very strong number, and we're happy with the progress we've been able to make there. So in summary, I think just to conclude before I open it up for questions, it is a very solid value proposition. It's the same degree that you get on campus. It costs a fraction of what it would cost on campus. And there's another world-class university associated along with Liverpool John Moores, which is IIIT Bangalore. And yeah, one of the other things that I missed out talking about earlier was this whole component of recognition globally. And as I said, most of our students have seen that when they apply for international immigration opportunities, be it to WES in Canada or US or UK or Australia or India, given this is an equivalent master's that is the same one as on campus, it is globally recognized by all accreditation bodies. Because as I said, at the end of the day, if you went to Liverpool, spent 12 months or 18 months on campus, spent £50,000 to do it, you would end up with the same degree. So it's globally recognized by all accreditation bodies. And that's a huge advantage for students when they think of global opportunities, global movement, and building a global career. So that's the final point I would like to make. And finally, I already spoke about the kind of engagement, the interactive learning experience we provide at upGrad to ensure that we handhold you to successful completion of the program, along with very strong delivery of career outcomes. So I'll take a pause here. I can keep going on, but I think we have a few questions and I'll take those for now. But as I said, please feel free to ask me any questions you have on chat, on the Q&A, or raise your hand and I'm happy to talk to you. There's an anonymous question first. How are the hands-on experiences ensured with the tools? So if you're talking about tools like Python or SQL or all of these are built into the platform. So on our learning management system, all of these, you need not even go out of the console. So let's say we give you an assignment to do, you can start coding on the console itself. And there will be content, obviously, where the faculty or the industry expert is talking about, okay, how do you do regression in Python? Or how do you do a certain exercise in SQL? And they will teach you, and post that there'll be an assignment which will say that please try and solve this in SQL. And the SQL console will be right there on the platform and you practice. And now based on that, you will get feedback from our teaching assistants. And obviously we will give you other resources that you have access to. And at the end of the day, even you can bring up these questions in the live lectures with faculty and industry experts. So it's a very hands-on experience, and all of these tools are built into the learning management system for you to have a hands-on experience of practicing them. The next question is from Wendy. Can you complete the program in a year? Unfortunately, no, Wendy. I think we have designed this to optimize for working professionals, and we know that they can only spend a certain amount of time a week, right? So based on that, you can probably finish it in 16 months if you're really good and put in a lot of effort. but I think it will be unrealistic to expect that you will finish it before 16 months. The next question is again from Wendy. What careers do graduates of the data science program typically go on to do? So typically we have seen that people end up in 3 or 4 kinds of roles. The first is in the role of obviously a data scientist or a business analyst. So those are 2 key roles that people go into, data science / business analyst roles. The second role that we've seen people go into is roles of machine learning engineers. These are people who already have a strong mathematics and programming background, come into the program. The kind of projects that they choose are heavily machine learning, NLP, deep learning intense. And then post that, they end up with machine learning engineer roles. The third key part actually that we see is a lot of people now go into research, where post this, learners are exploring going into doing PhD programs, going into academia roles. And that's another key aspect of the program, which helps them achieve that third outcome. And fourth, we generally have a lot of people who, again, as I said, these are the big buckets. There's obviously a long tail, but we have a lot of students who explore a plethora of other options, starting from simple stuff like, okay, I am a manager in an IT company, but this really helps me just make sure that I have reinforced my learning and I will use it better on my job to do my job well, more than for a promotion or a role change, just significantly do my job well. And in the long run, it's an investment. So there are a lot of people who see this as a long-term investment as well, without the need for any immediate career change. The next question again from anonymous is still, what time do we have access to Tableau? It's not an open software. So as long as, so whatever access you have for the program, you have it throughout the course of the program and for another year after that. So while Tableau is not an open source software, it's integrated into the program. And as an LJMU student, you will have a free license to that. And you can use that for during the program and post 12 months of that. What tools are covered in the program? Honestly, I mean, I can list the tools that we cover. Like obviously there is R and Python that you can choose from. There is SQL where you can do some introductory concepts, and there is Ruby on Rails. There are multiple other tools that I can talk about. But one thing I would like to impress before I cover the specific tools that we teach as part of the program is that tools are very transitionary in that sense, right? Where when I was a data scientist back in 2012, I used SAS, and that was like the go-to tool for everybody. But today, literally nobody uses SAS because it's gone. And then there was Python, and then there is R, and things keep changing every year, right? So the tools keep changing. And while we try and cover the latest tools in the program, the point of the program is not to familiarize you with the tools. We will obviously do that. But the point of the program is more importantly to make you really strong with the fundamental concepts of areas like data science, machine learning and AI, and computer science. So we're talking about stuff like hypothesis testing. We're talking about stuff like graphical models, what is regression, logistic regression, linear regression, classification, KNN, hypothesis testing, deep learning, neural networks, graphical models, reinforcement learning, etc. So we want to introduce you and make you very strong in all of those fundamental concepts, and how you execute those in tools. We will familiarize you with those, the most important tools currently, but I can assure you that those tools are going to change in 5 to 10 years. So we do not want to over optimize on the tools part of it. And that's not the USP of the program while we cover the latest tools. But the USP of the program is the depth that we go into in terms of making you really strong in some of the core concepts that will hold you in good stead for the long run. But to talk about specifically the tools, as I said, we cover stuff like Python and Tableau. When we go into big data, we cover Hadoop and Hive. There's obviously MySQL, there is Power BI, there's MongoDB, there's Keras, there's TensorFlow. So there are multiple tools that we cover. And obviously, according to me, if you want to get into a managerial business analytics role or a data analytics role, Excel is still one of the most powerful tools. So obviously, for people who are not familiar with Excel, which according to me, a lot of people are not, we also have a very strong module on basic Excel and advanced Excel that will really help you do most of these concepts, at least the introductory concepts in Excel. The next question is from Asha. How friendly is the program for a non-technical person? So if you're a non-technical person, I would say you can definitely do the Masters in Data Science program. Masters in Machine Learning, while you can attempt, I think it's a more advanced program, which will require it, which would and will be very helpful if you have prior mathematics or computer science background, and you can go to that program easily. But for our Masters in Data Science program, it's been designed for people who do not have any programming or mathematical background. So the way we escalate the program eventually into the deeper concepts, there is enough time that we spend on all the preparatory content, all the prerequisites for you to successfully complete the program. The next question is from Abhilash. What are the financing options available for the course? So we have multiple financing options, Abhilash. So we have tied up with multiple NBFCs and banks. If you're sitting in India, we have partnerships with multiple people. If you're in the US, we have partnered with, again, firms like Affirm, etc., that can offer you easy payment options. You can choose to pay in, obviously upfront, but you can choose to pay in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, depending on what best fits your outlay. So we have multiple financing options. And if you're interested, I would say, please leave the information with one of our counselors on the chat. I think Elizabeth has dropped in notes for where this program is hosted on our website and more information regarding multiple programs that we have. Please leave your information there and one of our counselors can get back to you with more information, not only about the program, but also the multiple finance options available to you. The next question is anonymous. What all accreditation the university has? So as I said, it's a top 20 UK university when it comes to Faculty of Engineering and Technology. It's a public UK university. It's approved by the QAA, which is the Quality Assurance Agency for Higher Education in the UK. It's like the biggest body in the UK for all higher education institutions. And it's ranked, I think last I checked, 400 in the Times Higher Education and QS rankings globally. So it's a very, very reputed university. As I said, it's established in 1823, so they have a very strong legacy. They have more than 20 campus buildings in Liverpool, more than 27,000 students on campus, 12,000 plus faculty and staff coming from 120 different countries. So it's one of the biggest universities, not only in the UK, but globally, and have a very strong reputation. And it's a public university that's approved by the UK Higher Education QA, as I said. And so, I mean, I don't know what, if there's any specific accreditation you're looking for, I'm happy to answer it, but they're one of the largest public universities in UK. And as I said earlier, it's globally recognized. The tools and languages that are being covered in the program, are those relevant enough for anyone to transition into data science? And having, yes, as I said, they're definitely relevant for those who are looking to transition into data science without any prior experience, because that's the way the program has been designed. That's why there is an entrance test for the program. And based on the entrance test, we can evaluate that even though you are coming without a non-technical or a non-programming background, you have enough basic analytical ability for you to succeed in the program. Are the programs as a cohort model? Will my classmates be similar from class? Will my classmates be similar from class to class? Yes. So Wendy, you will start in a cohort. So let's say you're starting the December 31st batch. There will be about 200 students starting on December 31st, and you will move as a cohort. It's like a typical on-campus experience, right? You will move as a cohort together for the 18 months. So throughout that experience, in terms of online interactions, in terms of offline interactions, faculty interactions, that peer community will be the same for the 18 months. So it will be a cohort experience which starts at a certain date and ends at a certain date. Will my classmates be from all over the world? So we have a global cohort, but sometimes we're very aware of the fact that because people are in such distinct time zones, live lectures will need to be done twice. So typically what we do is we divide the world into two halves, and the faculty repeat their live lectures, once for one part of the world and others for the other part of the world. But yeah, you should expect that you will have classmates from all over the world in the program. The next question is, will World Education Services, WS, recognize the degree after the completion of the program? Yes, we have had multiple alumni of the program who have applied to WES and have gotten recognition for this particular set of programs, not just MSc Data Science, but MSc Machine Learning, MSc Computer Science, MBA. So all those programs are WES recognized. Apart from the modules that are there in the program, are there any other boot camps, short-term certifications in Python or any other tools? So what we have is that there are a lot of these preparatory and additional content that we have as part of the program. And we also have boot camps included in that. So as I said, as part of the program itself, there will be a lot of these boot camps and optional material that you will have to specialize in areas that are of interest to you. This could be in Python, this could be in SQL, this could be in even concepts like reinforced learning or neural networks that not all people might be interested in. So we have a lot of these optional additional modules that you can go through to specialize in any one particular area. The timings of these courses, as I said, about 70% or 80% of the course is asynchronous in nature. So it will be recorded and people from around the world can have access at whatever point they want. But beyond that, the live lectures are split into two halves, and that is to make sure that it is a convenient time for everybody and people attend these live lectures. So for example, you would not expect anybody to join a call at 2 a.m. or 6 a.m. It'll be at a reasonable hour for everybody, and that's why we divide it into two and conduct the live lectures in two different slots. Great, so I think we have answered most of the questions. If there's anything else I can answer over the next few minutes, but just to summarize, as I said, guys, I think this relationship and these set of programs are probably the most successful programs that we run at upGrad, and that's because of the solid value proposition that we have here, which is the same degree you get on campus as on campus. You get it at a fraction of the cost. It's globally recognized by agencies like WES, by agencies in Australia, in India, in UK, US, Canada, etc., everywhere, because it's a top UK public university. And the configuration of the program is such that you'll also get to do some very exciting research work for the 6 months of the dissertation project, where you can try and apply all the learnings on a project that you're excited about and get a real life experience. So sorry, I think there's one more question. Is there any capstone project in MSc Computer Science? If yes, what are the projects? Yes, there is a capstone project in MSc Computer Science. And this is not a dissertation project. There's a 6-month dissertation project in all of the programs that I'm talking about. But there are also various capstone projects in the program. And the capstone projects depend on something that you are interested in. Again, for capstone projects, we have choices that you can pick from, right? So if you're interested in retail, if you're interested in banking, or if you're interested in pharma, there is a case capstone project that you can pick. Or if you're MSc Computer Science, you can pick a project based on the area of your interest. If you're interested in data science, or if you're interested in cybersecurity, or if you're interested in cloud computing, you can pick a project from there and solve that particular project. So if it is a capstone project or a dissertation project, we do not force fit everybody to do the same project. But in the case of capstone projects, we give students the option to choose based on their interest. And eventually for the longer dissertation project, you literally can bring any project that you want, get it approved, and then work on it for 6 months, which accounts for 60 credits of the 180 credits of a master's program. And that's really exciting for a lot of students because they get to work on a problem that they care about. Will there be faculty associated when we work on the capstone project? Yes, we will have our thesis supervisors, and there will be faculty also that are involved in the capstone project and in the dissertation project to help you. I think there's one last question that I take, which is content that is being offered in the program. There are some specializations that are being offered. How is one supposed to choose? Will there be sort of help? So in terms of choosing this, I think what I would really suggest is that you talk to one of our admissions counselors. They are very well trained in getting a sense of your background, your aspirations, and what could best fit your career aspirations, right? So they've done this for more than thousands of students. So they're well trained in understanding your background and suggesting what specialization could work for you. So if you're interested in exploring the program, as I said, please leave your information on the website, and one of our senior admissions counselors will get in touch with you to guide you on what specialization, what are the next steps, payment options, the admissions process, and everything else. Great, guys. Thank you very much for your time today. Hope this was helpful. And as I said, we're really excited about this value proposition. It's been one of our most successful programs globally. And if you have any more information that you need, please get in touch with one of our counselors, and they'll be more than happy to guide you through the process and give you more information regarding the program and how it might serve your career aspirations. So, with that, I'll take your leave. Uh, sorry, I'll take one question because it's just popped up. Is upGrad planning to bring US universities to deliver these programs? Uh, in a period of time, maybe yes, but right now it is the LJMU programs are a very strong value proposition that even a lot of people from the US do, because as I said, it's a UK public university and it's a globally recognized university, and the return on investment is extremely high given the low cost of the program, and that's something a lot of our learners appreciate. So the program is very aggressively priced and it delivers on strong outcomes for a top public university in the UK. Will we do it with some other US universities? Yes, maybe in the next few years. Like currently we have tied up with University of Arizona, where we have a master's in data science program. We are launching a master's in machine learning program with them, but they'll come, but they might be at a higher cost. They might have a different configuration. And if this particular value proposition of Liverpool John Moores doesn't appeal to you, I'm sure there'll be other programs in the future that might fit your requirement. But if Liverpool John Moores and these programs are exciting to you, I would definitely urge you to pursue and have a conversation with our counselors, because as I said, they're priced very aggressively. You can finish them at a fraction of the cost as on campus and get the exact same credential and recognition globally for it. So with that, thanks a lot, guys, for your time today. Hope this was helpful. And as I said, if you have any more questions, I'm happy to do another webinar. Please reach out to one of our counselors and we'll be happy to help you out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy your day and happy holidays.